Spoken Label. I haven't thought about flying for a long time. I haven't dreamed of that moment when I was alone above the clouds for a long time. I haven't dreamed of waking up in a room surrounded in blue and green grass for more years than I could dream of remembering. I haven't walked back into the past or scratched on the doors of my origins, where it all came from, since I held up that cape for the last time.
Return to Kent Town 10th Year Anniversary Edition is a revised version of Andy N's first poetry book. The book can be purchased from Amazon and it contains numerous additional material.
Spoken Label. Hi, it's Andy N from Spoken Label. Thank you today for streaming or downloading another episode of Spoken Label. Spoken Label was originally set up on beginning of 2016 and as of speaking has currently nearly 300 sessions. The full archive is available on Spoken Label bandcamp.com. Although it is available for free for stream and download if you wish, I am always grateful for any sort of kind of donation to enable me to keep the running costs of this podcast going. And enjoy. Take care. Bye bye. Spoken Label.
Hi guys, Andy N. Spoken Label back in the house, and I'm on the tour today, first time in ages. And of course, if I'm doing it on tour, I'm at the Hip Hop. Have I got this right, Ushi? Hip Hop Cafe, is it?
Hip Hop Chip Shop.
Hip Hop Chip Shop. Yeah, I've got Ushi with me. I worked it out before Ushi with you, mate. You were actually the third or fourth person I ever interviewed for Spoken Label. And Spoken Label's been active for 6 years now, and I've done 406 sessions. So, yes, everybody, got a long-standing friend here today, Ushi. I have not seen you in fucking ages. Mm-hmm. It's been ages, hasn't it, really? Because I've done loads in. I don't know if you spot this. I do most of mine nowadays on Zoom, but it's people like you, and I thought you're always better sometimes in person. Mm-hmm. So that's why I thought we're in Hip Hop Chip Shop today. 45 minutes for it's due to open, so it's quite nice in there as well. So how do you know about this place, then, mate? Before we go on to what you've been up to today.
Yeah, so there's an event called Mind Over Matter that I found recently. I saw it first on Facebook, but they are pretty active on Instagram. They're probably better on Instagram than Facebook in terms of analytics, if you want to get into all your techie stuff. But there's a guy called Paul Fisk that goes by Fisky, really great poet. And I turned up to this event and I said to Fisky, I'm here just with the intention of showing you who your headliner should be. Shook his hand, said I'm Ushiku, and said that line. And then...
God, that's confidence.
Yeah.
Go straight for the jugular.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, I headlined the second month.
Good man, that's all I can say.
Fisk is brilliant. He does a lot with like mental health with his project Mind Over Matter. What number are we on now? It'll be the 6th event is on tonight.
Yeah, I was speaking to Jack Horner, Lee on the pig farmer. I know he's there tonight. We were telling about it last night. So, see,
and that'll be on here.
Yeah, in here. Which I'm going to be doing another podcast then, because Spoken Labels is on holiday from work, so he's doing 2 in a day. So, but anyway, mate. Yeah. Now, obviously, the people that don't know you, and if they don't know you, they should be ashamed of themselves. So, obviously, tell us a little bit about yourself, just very briefly, mate, because we've got loads to catch up on today.
So, I used to say I do everything but dance, but that's not strictly true anymore. I recently did a Vogue event at Manchester Academy. So,
did you?
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine you doing that. Wow. What was that like?
Really good. It's like a disabled group called House of Curio that one of my friends, Elaine from Grey Eye Beyond programme, which we'll be talking about later, she invited me to it, and it's all about like LGBT disabled creatives. And it gave me confidence in a way, because I've always felt unconfident around dancing anyway, with my dyspraxia and the weight gain since becoming a chef.
Yeah, I know. So, I've got to ask you, obviously, you don't do chefing anymore, and do you? So, is it true then? My brother's mate says this. He says he's been a chef for about 4 hotels in Central Manchester. I'm not naming which one or him. Mm-hmm. Is it true that if you become a chef, you're either psychotic an alcoholic or?
Most of them are, yeah.
Yeah, now, I'm not going to name what the third one is, what people can guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought so. Anyway, we'll move on. Now, obviously, tell us today what you've been up to, because you've been up to a play rehearsal, haven't you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that then, and what's going on there then, before we go on to everything else.
So right before COVID, I'd gotten into directing through Disabled Artist Networking Community. They had the Miel out. I attended a first event with them in June of 2018.
God, you go back a bit then, don't you?
So from there, I did the Peterloo Bicentennial in September, and also in September there was the introduction to directing for disabled artists with Amit Shah and Ryan Shanahan, and the two of them were kind of integral in my early training, but the training itself was through the Regional Theatres Young Directors scheme, so that's mostly with Manlai. She kind of coordinates a lot of it, but we do get like guest people doing workshops and that, like Athena Stevens has shown us blocking, which is like looking at the script and going line by what's in it. But one of the notes that I made today at the Royal Exchange based on Athena Stevens' training was, because Nora Doll's House, the script that they're using, is so blank when it comes to stage directions. Bryony was able to create blocking based on physical movements that she was directing the actors to do, based on a line, because there wasn't actually that stage direction in the script. So it made me think about, as a director, what to do in terms of spatial awareness. And then another thing came to mind, which was the actors are going in different places and that, but you've got the Thomas character who is only portraying one version of himself at a time, yet is only in one physical space, while there's three actors playing Nora.
Well done, yeah, good point.
And what I thought from there is, what's stopping him from going into the spaces that the other Noras are in? You've got to create some kind of physical movement within the scene to stop him when they're having an argument, going off into this corner or this corner where the other Noras are.
Yeah, and it's a good point, because a lot of Ibsen's plays, and I directed Peer Gynt, if you know that one. Yeah, and they are, because it's quite spacious on it, and they're open to interpretation, what you can and cannot do. Yeah, and Doll's House is a really good example of that, and I'll not go into my acting on that one. But I still another day, but you're right, I've seen the version, was it the Library Theatre? No, it was the Royal Exchange. Last time it was done here, that was a few years ago as well, so good luck with it, man, definitely so. Are you acting in it, or just...
No, just observing.
Observing, no, it's something to get involved in, definitely so, yeah, good luck. Now, the first thing, obviously, today we want to talk to you about is obviously not poetry, because people might know he's a poet and a rapper and who knows what we do. But I didn't know, actually, you're directing a play at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah.
For somebody I've not seen for a couple of years now. When we're speaking to this young lady, Gemma Lee's. I first met Gemma when she was Gemma O'Neill under a maiden name 15 years ago, and I met you, originally.
I knew her back in the day in the poetry scene and that, but it was great to
it's good to
reconnect basically through Grey Eye Beyond. We've both been on that programme for about 2 years now. It started around or just around the time of COVID becoming a thing.
I didn't know Gemma was active again, John, that's why. Sorry, Gemma, I'll be talking to you separate here. It's great to be. I've got Gemma's book, A Moment of Madness. I think there's something else. Anyway, that's a few years ago anyway, so brilliant. Now tell us about this play then. So what's going on with this play
So
then?
It's called Mind Your Business, and it's about her identity as a Romani person. And also,
is it a one-person play? Or is it going to be various people?
There's other characters, but so far she's performed it. But then there's other members on the Grey Eye Beyond programme, such as Alice and Elaine. Elaine's the one that got me involved in the Vogue. We're all going to be kind of working together as a company. We've not thought of a name yet, so if you want to send one on a postcard, feel free.
Yeah. Or through me or you, whatever. Get passed on lovingly. So so are you gonna? When's the play gonna be out then?
I don't know. Like we've been offered some rehearsal space by by the Bolton Octagon, which is great.
Yeah, great theatre, great theatre.
So,
unless my name gets mentioned anyway, but they won't remember me. So.
But yeah, the Beyond programme, we had chats with the Bolton Octagon and also with the Northern Shakespeare Theatre, which is going to be in Knowsley.
Nice.
They organised that just before Christmas, and I'd already signed on to be the director for Gemma's play before then, but then with everybody on the Beyond programme being at that event, it helped us network, and then like the four of us kind of come together.
No,
which
good
is
luck.
great.
Good luck, man. Definitely. No, that's great. That's a great project. That. So, like I said, do you anticipate it being this year or next year? You're not sure yet.
I'd probably say next year, because we're just going to start rehearsing and devising and stuff like that. The first script has been sent to me, and Gemma has this incredible ability to just come up with music and songs, show tunes, just incredibly. Like, she can just be sat there and then boom, nice little chunks. Show tune. Like.
Yeah, she's very. What's the word of it? No. It's not impulsive, yeah. It's like that. She just ideas seem to click in here.
Comes that eureka moment of music.
That's it. She's very good at the eureka moment. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Brilliant. Good luck. Keep us informed, mate. Definitely.
So like, because it's about her being Romany and also being a market trader, and also with bits of disability, and there's humour in there as well. Like, there's a character called Luck Jean that's like, oh, Luck Jean, like very kind of typical Northern, and then. There's another character that steals her crutch that's very much kind of your entitled boomer man.
Brilliant, man. Good luck, man. Definitely, man. That sounds great fun. So, okay, moving on then to, obviously, the big thing I know you want to talk about today, and this goes off in like 3 different directions, is, and this is why I think you really want to talk to me today, was about a development grant.
Yep.
You've been involved with the Arts Council application. This is going in several directions. Tell us about this, because this does sound really, really interesting. Not that the other stuff is really interesting anyway. Tell us about that, mate. What's going on with this, then, mate?
Yeah, so I'd initially put in an application for R&D for my play Unmasked, and I was assigned by Arts Council England a support worker called Daisy Hale, and they are incredible. And then Daisy was able to help me when I put in my application for developing your creative practice, because I figured rather than just developing the play, I'd take advantage of the fact that I had these connections that were opening up in music and in comedy. Like, I was already working in music, and had done the comedy course at the Frog and Bucket, so I had a few connections there, but I really wanted to hone in on them, and same with the directing, and also with the writer's development, because I did some training with Kathy Crabb through Disabled Artists Networking Community, and also did 2 trainings with BBC Writers' Room and the National Film and Television School of Scotland.
No,
so
well done, mate.
Did a lot of writing training basically there.
Good, yeah. I think you do, as I'm always a believer, when you do these sort of courses, it does help you as a writer to develop. Like, you don't really know my wife Amanda, but Amanda's done all kinds of courses like you have. I'm just a wink and prayer man. I just bullshit half the time. But you're right, she's done stuff, and she's everything you do. I believe you learn from it. And it's clearly what you tell me today, you've learned from it. So tell us about the play then, Unmasked.
So it started out as like the exploration of my autism diagnosis in summer of 2017.
I remember you telling me about that as well, yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote the first song for it at Royal Exchange Theatre. I got some space hired in like October 2019. That's where I wrote the first song. I had 90 minutes of staring at the wall, and then the eureka moment came.
Yeah,
and then I wrote
those 90 minutes are all fucking they feel like
especially
weeks.
With a Wi-Fi there. I appreciate the space hire, but work on your Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, it does. It just drives me crazy. 90 minutes, and I've had this myself with projects. It feels like weeks. For weeks and weeks. When you get it, like it, you can't keep up.
It's like that scene in Tick Tick Boom. Have you seen it? Where he's just like ripping up the paper and like staring at the laptop. Like.
Brilliant. Now I'm saying, what plans you've got for the play then? What stage are you up to with them Unmasked then?
So I've done one preview back in September, and then I've got another preview on the 13th of April.
Yeah, I remember you doing the preview last year and that. Yeah, I couldn't make it. Yeah,
but how the R&D has kind of seen the play develop is there's also going to be an accompanying soundscape that I'll be making alongside Tommy Dyson of Now or Never Records and Old Bank Studios. He's based in Mosley, just down the road from me.
I've heard of him. I think I know.
Incredible dude.
I know someone knows him.
Quickly become one of my best mates, man.
Good.
Like,
No, good. I think you do. I believe with some people you meet them, you click immediately.
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
Then some people like me, you're stuck with them forever. You can't get rid of it. No, brilliant.
But like we're going to use like binaural beats and solfeggio frequencies and kind of do a meditation album, because I'm more known for like my hip hop stuff. It's going to be more kind of little bits of reverb and ambient stuff, and
good luck.
You'll probably like it. It's your
probably not me. I'm bloody weird.
Yeah.
It's
a weird kind of album, like.
No, good.
So, I have got some heavy music theory in there. So what I'm doing is it's being called the Eighth Circle, based on the Dante's Inferno, and being stuck in an infinity loop of hell and reincarnation.
Good luck, definitely.
And some of the artwork that was done for it. By a guy called Akilo Joseph. He's based in Nigeria.
No, I haven't. I've spoken to him. I know who he is. Yeah, I know who he is. Sorry, my fault. I'm thinking of somebody else then.
Yeah, I found him on Fiverr, but he's absolutely incredible.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Like, because he made a great poster for Unmasked and a great poster for the Eighth Circle album and soundscape that's going to go alongside it, I was like, this is too good to just waste as a poster or as an album cover. Let's do an actual exhibition, because at the start of the pandemic, I had a friend called Minishta in India, and she set up a group called the Artfluenza on Facebook, and there was a guy on there called Miel Timtiman, who's based in the Philippines. He made this incredible Mandalorian style mask out of a recycled PlayStation controller, and I was like, this guy's cool as fuck, I want to work with him.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
God,
so when Grey Eye and their Beyond programme gave me a bit of extra money on top of the Arts Council England grant, they gave me a grant to make the masks and to pay for the artwork that I'd already paid for with Akilo Joseph. So that was great. I've got a full exhibition, and I've got all the masks made. And they're based around autism, so my whole thing is, the reason I've called it Unmasked is they say autistic people are masked to fit in. Some do, some don't. Me personally, I don't. I'm just me. If you like me, great. If not, a little bit sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
A bit more diplomatic. Bloody hell, I never thought you'd be the one that swore before me.
Oh, it gets to a stage I'm like that. I'm 50. I'm 50 fairly soon. It goes out the window, right? Now,
all good.
I know you've been involved in stand-up comedy, haven't you, since the last time we've spoke to you as well. So what's been going on there then?
So I've been going to a class online called International House of Comedy, that's ran by a guy called Henry Cruz, who's based in the Bronx, and that's opened up loads of connections in like the theatre scene and the poetry scene and the music scene in New York. Like, I had a lot of connections in Long Island because of my publisher being based there, James Wagner, but it was great to kind of make more connections in like the mainland area and the city and the boroughs basically. And yeah, like, one of my friends is now basically running the Nigerian Poets Cafe, La Bruja. She's brilliant.
Now, I know you've got some gigs coming up in New Jersey, didn't you say?
Yeah.
That's kind of linked into somebody I've spoken to before. Go on, tell us a story about that then. Go on then.
Yeah, so is it Elise? How do you pronounce it?
Elise, I think.
Elise, yeah.
She'll kill me for this.
So,
yeah, I know.
Her friend Damien does what he calls the New Jersey Poetry Renaissance. I like that kind of level of extra. That's pretty
Excellent. Cool. So when are you going over there then?
In July. So
fantastic.
Basically, because part of my grant, it gave me money for like writer's development for the Unmasked play. That was kind of like they said 3 weeks of writing, but I've done a lot more than 3 weeks of writing. I've done non-stop writing for a year. I mean, I have done other stuff on top of it. Obviously, I keep busy, but
sleep is optional, is it?
Yeah, I'm always making songs. Like even about 3 weeks ago, I wrote another poem that's going into Unmasked, but it will also be seen at a show called Mystery Trip at the Lowry.
Stop. No.
No.
Good man. Now, obviously, I've got to ask you next. Then I've got an order of stuff here, but I've gone off the order, so much at me for you. Now, obviously, since the last time we spoke for Spoken Label, I know you've set up in doing buzzing Bards for the past couple of years, haven't you? Tell us about that then. And you're up to, is it the third one or fourth one of these now?
Let's see. I think it's the third one now.
The third one came out relatively recently, didn't it? Yeah. Sounds about right.
I should really know this, but yeah. Third feels confident.
Yeah. Wouldn't say third in a bit more. Apologies to everybody that got missed off. Right, tell us what Buzzing Bards is, seriously.
Yeah, so that's James Wagner of Local Gems Poetry Press. He approached me in 2018 about doing some workshops in my local community. So we did the Buzzing Bards workshops in Droylsden for a year prior to COVID, and then had our first launch in 2019. Then with 2020, there was a book launch for the last version in 2020, but that was online. Yeah, we did like a radio podcast.
Oh, that's a good idea.
As our launch.
Yeah, it does work that idea. So yeah.
And then for 2022, we did the 2021 launch. Obviously, with the lockdown last October time, we weren't able to do it around the time it came out. Because events were prohibited, so we decided to do it in late February, because I figured things would be open by then, and I was quite lucky that it was.
You were lucky. Do you think you'll do a fourth one on them yet, or are you not sure? That to be confirmed.
I want to do it in October, because we've got White Rose Bards #2, because we've also got a Yorkshire book, because I've got some good connections around there through a guy called Steve Blackman.
Don't know Steve. I don't know Steve.
Is it Steve Blackman? I know it's Steve. Let's see if I've got it right.
Sorry, Steve. You can see we plan things there.
Yeah,
sometimes.
It is.
Oh, look at that.
It is.
Well, hi, Steve. I don't know you very well.
No, because I was thinking that sounds like a wrestler. Is my brain going weird?
And I was like, wasn't the guy called Steve?
Yeah, it was. The judo guy.
Judo guy, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was like, is my brain going weird and obsessed with wrestling?
I'm old enough to remember WWE in the late 90s. Yeah.
Steve Blackman, not the wrestler. Is
that'd have been cool if he was a poet.
I know, yeah. Wrestler poet.
Can you imagine that? Like he was very good at the weapons and stuff. You didn't know his weapons. You can't even recite his poetry. Sorry, mate. Go on now. Seriously, back to the proper Steve.
But yeah, he runs events in the kind of left-wing poetry spaces in the Yorkshire area. But he also does the 0161 Festival in Manchester.
Yes.
And then, because I've got those connections with the Yorkshire poetry scene through him, I figured that'd be the natural next place to go after Manchester.
Yeah, there's plenty around there. I've done sessions with a few people from the Yorkshire area.
Funniest thing.
What have you done? Do I want to know?
No, what I did. I got an email in like.
Well, that's a rarity. It's something you've not done.
No, yeah, in April of 2020, 1 month into the pandemic, saying, "What's happening with this launch, Len?" Typical Yorkshire fodder.
Oh God!
It's like, mate, everything's closed off. Like, as much as I'm a non-conformist, A, I don't have a building, and B, I'm not getting arrested just for poetry. Well, Depends on the poem.
Yeah, I'm about to say, probably won't be the first time knowing you. That's all I'm going to say there with that. No comment. So, well, good luck, that mate, definitely. Now, the last bit I want to talk to you about today, obviously, before we get into a few poem services, when I first met you, it was over at Freed Up Poets, a long time ago. This
2008, that wasn't it?
It has to be 8. It has to be 8. And obviously, then I know my band went with not long after Word Music in 10. We went to a few of your OpenMind nights, which I know people of a certain vintage will remember them. Now, you were telling me before, obviously, OpenMind is not an active concern at the moment, but you are using the connections through that for other events, aren't you?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that then.
So one of the guys that played OpenMind back in the day was a guy called Nick Alexander, who, for those that know the kind of underground music and poetry scene in Manchester, know of the Pear Hat. He is very instrumental in the Pear Hat, in the running of that place, and he has basically given me free rein to run events there. It started with having me do some guest spots.
Is that on the bit downstairs?
Yeah. So it started with me doing some guest spots at some events. Ever the contrary, and last summer I actually did the MIFT Festival, which is anti-establishment, and MIF in the same day. Playing both sides. I'm the MGF of poetry.
What you like, you are, What you like. Right, so I know you've done Buzzing Bards has been done through this, hasn't it?
Yeah.
For your promotion.
He's also got another event called the Devil's Night that I've done a few times.
That's a good name. That's a good name for an event.
Yeah.
Devil Night, yeah.
And then the first event he asked me to put together was called Hello, Let's Create Some Worlds. And that was in December.
December, quite
2021.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
And then basically, because I liked the aesthetic of the poster and the name of the event, I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then it basically went into the comedy in a weird way, because initially it was just spoken word, music, bit of theatre, and then I was doing an open spot for Punk in Drublic back in November, and there was a great comedian there called Erica Ayla. She's an incredible comedian. Erica Ayla.
I'll give you that spelling later to me.
She is from Toronto. She came over here as a student and then just fell in love with Manchester, as you do. How can you not? We're brilliant. But yeah.
And so modest as well. Right? Go on.
Nah, I always rep my city. But she invited me to a gig called Comedy for Ugly People. Or is it brilliant.
That's a good name. I've not heard of that one.
Or is it for good looking? I need to look that up.
I know, listen, it's all more better. Comedy for ugly mugs, right?
Yeah. I'll look that up. My brain's got all frazzled. But the same day that event was on was the same day that I was doing an event at the Pear Hat. I was doing the Devil's Night because he had a rare day off, because Nick runs the Devil's Night usually on Mondays, and I usually work at Lowry devising then, but it was good to have a day off and to do an event there. And then because of that, she was like, oh, that's cool, I love the Pear Hat, like I did some of my earliest comedy gigs there. I was like, do you fancy co-running an event there? And she said yes, in spite of the fact that week she'd been on Dave and on Frankie Boyle, but she seemed to like me, so that's good.
There's something right there, didn't you? Right? Oh, top banana, right? So, brilliant. Now, okay, 2 questions to conclude on the chat bit then. So, what's next for yourself? I know you've got plenty of bits and pieces going up. Is there anything else coming up that you've not told us about yet? I usually like ask people what's next, but you've got so much stuff next. You told me that already.
Yeah. I think I might have a brief nap in May.
Yeah. Which May? May this year or May next year?
Hopefully. Because I've got a lot going up to the preview on the 13th of April, and then the last weekend of April, first week of May, kind of April 30th to the start of May kind of thing. There is 0161 Festival with Steve Blackman, not the wrestler.
Oh, I hope this poor gentleman doesn't hear this. He might get took off the festival quite quick. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. And then after that, I'm pretty free for most of May, which is good. I might have a nice little rest.
You probably need it after that.
I've got my activity reporting for Arts Council England, and might have a quick nap, or I might just make myself busy. I don't know.
Start another project off, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps write a book in 2 weeks.
Well, June I won't be doing that much besides the second book for White Rose Bards. So yeah, that's going to be at the Otley Labour Rooms on the 25th, but I shall look. It's a Friday. Boom! I was one day off, was it? Hold on. No, it's the 18th. I got it the week before.
Ooh. Good man. You were nearly there. Right, okay, mate. We'll wrap this bit up. I want to get you to a few poems first before we wrap up today. So, obviously, if people want to get hold of you, Ushi, where do you recommend they go?
So, on Facebook, I'm Ushiku Crisafulli. That is easier said than done in it though. So.
Well, I can't pronounce it, so I'll just put Ushi.
I've made it easier for people to find me. So it's Ushi Koala on Facebook. So facebook.com/USHI Koala.
Best way, easy, much easier that, mate.
Yeah.
God. Right. Okay, mate. We'll wrap this bit up then for you, because I want to get you to a few poems just for the cafe opens today. But it's been a pleasure, mate. Been grateful. And they're very entertaining last half an hour, so thank you again, mate.
Spoken, mate.
Hi, guys. Yes, I'm still here with Ushi. When on Zoom, I usually mute myself, but I cannot do this today, so this is going to be more entertaining. Over to you, mate. I'll try and keep quiet.
Yeah, so this is a poem that I kind of forgot existed. Basically, with my friend Grim at OpenMind, who sadly passed away this October, we wrote this together when we were young and having problems with silly girlfriends at the time, and we were probably quite silly ourselves at the time. And looking at it now, the poem seems less about our young love and more about the fact that you need to take the time to tell those that you love them when you can. So yeah, this is every time. Every time you go, I feel like part of me is dead inside. Every time you return, I couldn't be happier if I'd cried. Every word you say causes the hairs on my arms to stand, and trust me, feeling like this was never ever planned. I just start feeling sick when I know you're not here. This feeling can't be quelled until I see you near. It's not all in my head, I'm sure it's in yours too, but trust me, in this moment, right now, all I want is you. It may not be the right time, but I know that you're the right one, because there's something about us, the marriage of a Daft Punk and an Uber geek. I quell my thoughts, melt in syrup smiles, and taste the sweetness of this feeling, this moment. The moment, let it linger, let it never die, or forever I shall be plagued by questions why I never acted upon impulse as I usually do, why I kept silent, never revealed my feelings for you. Easier said than done, I hear that quite a bit. I mean, I see the moment, yet I often run from it. It's not my choice, alas, more the fear that does ensue. It's something that I know I wish I could easily undo. Except I do not know. I do not know how to feel. I do not know how to deal with this, whatever it is. Unanswered questions probe me, Socratic, neurotic and constant, extract data, all robotic like binary. Without you, the one, I'm left a zero. 4 years ago, it took a day. 2 years ago, it took 2 months. Now, it takes forever, or at least 1 moment longer is an eternity, when spent in this uncertainty. I wish to find the answer, and I believe we will, but until then, please don't make x equal x. Love is algebraic, and I don't understand the formula, but I hope it's like pi, infinitesimal and magnificent. With all I know, this is one uncertainty I wish was gone. I'd hate to make a move and realise that all I thought was wrong. But I believe you know exactly what I'm going through. The confusion, not knowing, I think you're there too. Every step closer to an answer that I seem to take leads to 100 more questions. Give me a break. If only life was simple, or maybe less confusing. But it's a game, and this just makes me feel like I'm losing. Losing sanity, losing sight. Just hoping maybe everything turns out alright.
Tremendous. Did you write that with Grim then, did you?
Yeah.
Well, that was, what's interesting on that piece, I wanted you to do a second piece as well for me in a minute, but I couldn't work out where the gaps were then. You suddenly do collaborations, you can see them, like, who you tell there's two voices. That was gelled really well.
It helps that I do a good Grim, but I didn't do his accent, but like, that's when I'm around his loved ones and that, I will do a Grim impression, but I just felt at that moment it wasn't the time or place to do it. But
no.
I can do a killer Grim.
Yeah, you can tell that poem it's a good tribute to mate, aren't you? If he was here now, I don't doubt. Well, I've met Grim about 4 times. Yeah, he would love that. Brilliant stuff, mate. Have you got a second piece you want to do for us then?
Yep.
Probably got time for 2 more actually. So we'll see, we'll go time wise, but definitely 2. Wait for 1 more.
Cool. So this one is the first song that I wrote for Unmasked at Royal Exchange Theatre after 90 minutes of staring at a wall, and this one's called Boy, How the Pendulum Swings. Boy, how the pendulum swings. It goes up, it goes down, and it spins me around. Boy, how the pendulum swings. See me rise, see me fall, and repeat and recoil. Boy, how the pendulum swings. But how can they know what the truth of me is when I don't even know myself? I see the pendulum swinging, my ears are ringing, sensory overload, my eyes are stinging. A bruise solves everything, so grab me a kettle as the story of my life begins to unravel. Am I the hero? Am I the villain? Fuck that, leave me alone like penicillin. Wherever the stage is, know that I be killing, but there's murderous crows, cash her out for a shilling. I'm willing to turn the other cheeks. Though may be broken, my scars are kintsugi. I'm a gift from God, but y'all can call me Ushi. Boy, how the pendulum swings. It goes up, it goes down, and it spins me around. Boy, how the pendulum swings. See me rise, see me fall, and repeat and recoil. Boy, how the pendulum swings. But how can they know what the truth of me is when I don't even know myself?
Tremendous. I like the ending there. People won't know this. And he went and wrote all the notes and stuff. He went, looked at the phone on the recording device, and said, myself, and it's deep, the soft voice. So play that back and listen to it again.
It's usually a whisper when there's a mic.
Brilliant. We've got time for another short piece. You've got another little one for us, mate.
Yep, this one's called The Dark Knight Rises, and it's about troubles with drugs, alcohol, and self-love, which are 3 things I definitely battle with on a daily basis. So without further ado, this is A Dark Knight's Rising. Dark night of the soul, spotlights to feel whole. I come a long way from life on the dole, but life on the road is filled with potholes. Can't be filled, stone but can't roll. Got the moves like Jagger with my cocky Mike swagger. Enter Shinobi, I showed you how to launch daggers. I'm sick and I know it, but I could be sicker. Imagine it Nushi without drugs and liquor, where I'm in love with myself and not just my talent, where the stage is ablaze. Fuck goat, I'm the horse with no saddle. Wild and untamed, though life it has changed. Survive the kind of shit makes most men insane, but I ain't most men. Don't like to boast when my actions speak louder than the knowledge I'm dropping. I'm a phoenix on mission, or surprise unlike Lazarus. Accepts himself rising though, leave the handouts to amateurs. 5 loaves and 2 fishes in a fabulous dish. I'm the chef that gives breath to some alchemist shit, and the gift from God ain't tempered by spliffs, but I'm living up to my namesake in spite of heartbreak. Super kick slick like Rick, you made me sorry, I love you, but your highest pedestals are just the lowliest footstools. Romulus and Remus, you can suck on my penis, along with all those who said that I couldn't be this. I got more lives than a feline in Gallifrey. There's no secret, behold, check your scrolls cause I'm gonna slay. prophetic like my dreams, because I keep them lucid in the hours of myself, like Ollie meets Cupid. But self-love will be the greatest gift I bestow myself. But my name means gift from God, so I'll be sharing the wealth.
Tremendous. Absolutely brilliant, mate. Wow. It was like a machine gun that way that was coming out then. Now, the shame in some ways I'm not actually done this, but I set this up by video because your arms are flowing round that much. It's like you're conducting your own piece of like orchestra or sound. But it's been a pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure, mate. It's been ages since I've done one in person. You wouldn't know this, but I've not done a live session in person for 18 months now.
Wow.
It's lockdown, isn't it? It says lockdown. Did one in summer of 2020, was it, or 21? It was a while ago anyway, so but it's been tremendous, mate. I've absolutely loved it. So
thank you.
I would always say hang around, but we're still here. You're going to put up with me for a few minutes afterwards anyway. So I need to speak about releases and stuff afterwards, but I've loved it today, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Keep in touch, and when the play's out, keep us informed.
Yep, April 13th at the Pear Hat.
Right, brilliant. It'll be released before then, I promise you. Now, let's see if you know who says this saying, right? Somebody used to do the bookings of Impact Wrestling. Now, I've been saying this, concluding this for ages. It's one of his sayings is stay safe and stay over, to conclude with.
Ooh.
He's not been.
Is that Al Snow?
No, it wasn't. It actually was Don Callis.
Oh, Don Callis.
You want Don Callis' sayings? I found it came up in another podcast interview he did somewhere. And tell people where it came from. It's different idea. He did.
Carrie Silkin did an interview recently with Talk Is Jericho, and what really made me laugh is he sounds like the Penguin from BoJack Horseman.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
And when he was talking about his failed business investments, I was like, oh, he's the Penguin. Yeah. And by the end of it, he became the Penguin in my mind.
Yeah, he's brilliant. It's brilliant. Very, very entertaining, man. I heard it come on a podcast he did. I think it was the one he did with Lance Storm he used to do. He came out of it and he used to finish the podcast off, and I've borrowed it ever since, and I always quote him. I think it's great with finishing. And listen, we're going to carry on chatting into for a bit. So this is Spoken Label signing out. See you all next time, guys.
Spoken Label.